Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode.
Ramble.
This is all life, Alice. Welcome to Guilty Pleasures. Darling, we are worried. But today we're talking about a movie, Don't Worry, Darling, that was the biggest news story for a while.
Yeah.
Something else seems to have taken its place. We'll get there.
We'll get
What
there.
happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't have the internet. I'm actually.
God, you fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you
sweet
okay,
baby.
Zach?
I'm great. I'm
Are
so
you sure?
good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
This hour is just gonna be an escape. If you're here to hear me talk about it,
We're not.
We're not.
We're not.
No, this is friendship time.
This is friendship time.
This is friendship time.
Arguably, we have a movie that has more tea than what's happening.
Oh my God.
Debatable. You know, look, in the weeks ahead, it's possible I may miss an episode or two. And by the way, big ups to the two of you for filling in my stead for these last few weeks.
It was when I say this, I mean it, a fucking delight.
It was a delight.
And by the way,
It was a
you
delight.
crushed hosting.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean by log lines? I crushed it.
Yeah.
Genuinely? Yes.
I love the aloofness of it, where you're just like, yeah, and then this bitch comes in, and then this dude comes
worst.
in, and then this lady comes
Roger
in.
Ebert is rolling in his grave.
Roger Ebert.
Yeah, rolling
couldn't
over to
give
get a
fuck.
better look at
Yeah,
this.
Get a better to hide his fucking dead boner.
Thank
That's
you.
what he's doing.
I could never replace our fearless leader.
Kind of want you
but
to. I think I
will
preferred it.
Take extra Adderall if I have to. Okay, fine. For the next couple weeks.
After months of tabloid drama
Oh my
and
God.
speculation and spitting on Chris Pine and questionable accents and Florence Pugh.
Florence Puh. She can do no wrong.
Don't worry, darling is here. And yes, in the middle of my life falling apart, I did go to the theater to see this movie.
In Palm Springs.
In Palm Springs.
Wow.
Where it was shot, right?
It must have been.
It looked like Palm Springs.
It
was
looks
Palm
like
Springs.
it.
It's got to be.
Olivia Wilde's magnum opus is finally here. A film that dares to ask the question, I stole this from Twitter, what if a white woman tried to write Get Out? Which is really like what I felt watching the movie.
Please, okay, after the synopsis.
I guess I
go
need
in.
to. But I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the movie really thinks that the whole time it's like, oh, I'm about to do something.
I fucking got you. It's just like,
ate.
oh, wait until you hear this shit.
Yeah, wait till you
And
see
the whole
this.
time you're like, I got this shit. I got this shit in 2013,
Stop it!
2014.
Carry
Please,
on.
synopsis.
White feminism, the movie, is about...
Yes.
And Miles is so
Where did you get a beer? From the fridge. Okay, fair. Checks out.
Don't worry, darling stars Florence Pugh as Alice. She's living the dream. She's married to Harry Styles. He loves eating her out.
Oh, yeah.
You're laughing, but that is a major plot point of the film. And she's living in this perfect, idyllic Palm Springs community called Victory. But is life perfect? She's starting to see things. Maybe things aren't what they seem. In a movie that dares to ask, are 1950s values really all they're cracked up to be?
We weren't sure before.
This is Don't Worry, Darling. There's probably more plot, but honestly, is there?
No.
I need to get this out of the way because, like, you know, this podcast is about finding things that we love about unsung movies, but then we also do the current movies. And I'm feeling a little salty today. I'm just going to get this out of the way and tell you this movie is dog shit.
Absolute. Utter dog shit.
Out of me.
So the way that this movie says, well, I ran out of pages in the script, so here are some visuals. Here are some, I don't know what the fuck to talk about, so here's some more like weird and spooky situations and set pieces.
I can tell by Kelsey's jaw dropping
It's unhinged.
that
the screws that are
that
implanted
you
in
liked
my
it, and I
face is
can't wait to hear.
unhinged.
So
I
tell
would
me
love to.
why.
So I was gonna get into how I do think that Olivia Wilde is a talented director.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Booksmart fucking rules.
Booksmart was great.
Yeah.
And some of the shit
The
in
directing
this
of this was great.
the directing of this
Yeah.
was fantastic.
They're very cool visuals
Visual-
throughout.
Some of the
the
stuff,
DP, unbelievable.
some of the stuff in it really like freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about some favorites? Let's hit them.
Yeah. There was a situation where for
What, Rick?
Anyway.
What?
the
Don't
this,
give me that.
Okay, sorry. This
The
and the Get
choke
Out.
laugh.
This and the Get Out comparisons. Is just so funny because there is a point when you're trying to figure out what this movie is, and Florence Pugh is walking into a mirror, and she is seeing a black actress, one of her friends that played Margaret,
my God.
in the reflection, and she is seeing herself as Margaret, someone who has lost their mind. And I was like, I swear to God, if this movie is a white woman stuck in a black woman's body, I will walk out of this theater. I will leave this fucking theater.
Okay.
Are you out of your
I
mind?
actually thought it was going to be the reverse, where they were going to try and put a black woman stuck in a white woman's body.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like this is
It's like-
bad. This is
Right.
bad
We was
time.
like, we shouldn't do this.
Okay, there's more that I liked, but I do want to talk about the character. Her name was Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have one black actor in the entire film.
Yeah.
And she's this, like, she is the crazy woman in the community who kind of goes through Florence Pugh's eventual realization early, right?
Yeah, because I'm guessing the reason why they did that
She's
was
the smartest one in the room.
They're trying to, like, I guess, pay homage or homage to, like, you know, black women usually being the first ones to
call out the bullshit.
And
interesting.
notice stuff. But then also,
you have a
in
whole
that aspect, there's a 50s community, and she would be the outlier in that situation.
Well, and it's the 50s community that, I mean, there's like one other actor of color that I can think of, but it is white.
It's very
the movie is white as bread.
Yeah.
And so to have this one actress where then Florence Pugh literally sees herself as her, it's just like, it stands out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of you're right that it like plays the way that women are each other's enemies and best friends, right? Like in the way of like, where does feminism intersect?
Right.
And then where are we each other's worst fucking enemies?
Yeah.
And I feel like they were trying to do
They
were
trying to get to that point, but like the underlying issue of it all is the fact that the story doesn't make sense. Like you can do as many like clever like situations that point at real life, but if the story that you're trying to tell doesn't make sense, and if wholly it's based off of the story making sense since it's a mystery.
Well, I want to counter actually, because my favorite thing about the movie is that it really felt like
All right,
a
no.
movie.
A movie.
No.
It really feels like you're going to the movie.
I saw that there was a tweet that I died laughing at that was like, those 5 actors were all in different movies.
Yeah.
Like all 5 of the leads were in different films at the same time participating.
Is unbelievable to me is that this film has a stellar cast.
Oh my
right?
God.
Allison Jones.
Florence.
Once again.
It was Allison Jones?
This is Allison Jones.
Yeah,
our
that's
girl.
why there's so many comedians in
Interesting.
it.
Well, you got Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
You got Chris, the creme de la creme
Your
of Chris's
favorite.
Pine, the hottest Chris. We will talk about him. You've got Harry Styles making his like big acting debut. Lots to talk about there.
Opportunity.
You got Kate Berlant as a side character, who frankly was so
Nick
distracting to
Kroll.
me because her eyes are so funny.
Yeah.
But I felt that they were all horribly miscast. I don't feel like anyone fit the role that they were playing.
I was
disagree.
thinking. I do agree.
Go figure.
I was thinking, I was like, yo, this would have been one of it is a funny cast for sure. This would have been one of the funnier movies if they got it right, I think, or if they like let them breathe or like do what they do. Like Asif Ali,
He was great.
he's
Funny.
one of like the funnier people
Yeah.
out there that you're like seeing on television and all
the
that stuff.
time.
And
That's
the
my
fact that
dude
he
from
got-
WandaVision, right?
From WandaVision.
Playing the exact same role here.
Yeah. Where you're like somebody that's just lost. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. But like he is so funny. And the fact that he got like 2 lines in it, I was like, all right, well, why the fuck?
But everything he
cast
said
him in the
was hilarious.
It was funny. And like I loved the tweets and like the love he was getting where people were just like this. He came on the red carpet with like this dope suit and like a no shirt and all that stuff.
Oh hell yeah!
And they're like, this man showed up, killed the red carpet, carried the Q&A, and left. and like that's the shit that you got to do. But like I was like super excited to see him in the movie, and then he only had 2 lines. I was like, what the fuck you do? Even with Nick Kroll, I was like,
I don't know why Nick Kroll was there.
These people?
I thought it was interesting to see Nick Kroll playing a more dramatic role. I feel like we've never seen him even cross.
I think he was good in it.
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And here's where I'll say I think the casting did work, because I know we'll get to the twist, but once you knew the twist, it fucking worked. Because I felt the same way where I was like, this feels like none of this matches. And then that was the fucking point. It wasn't supposed to feel comfortable.
Sure. Okay.
And I saw a tweet that made me laugh about this that I fully agree with the story that I think would have made this work.
Yeah.
Was that I wish it would have started 30 minutes into the movie, and I wish it would have gone on 30 minutes after when it ended.
Yeah.
Because the pacing of the acts felt fucking off.
Yes.
100%.
So I loved the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
I really liked like the weirdness of
Figuring
it all.
out the world. It was instantly weird.
It was instantly weird. Everything up until she saw the plane.
Which they never
explained.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about how frustrating this. There's such cool visuals,
so
right?
many cool
like
visuals.
You get her, and honestly, they're all the trailer moments that you've seen. Her cracking the egg and
With
it's
nothing
hollow
in it.
inside.
That right there, I'm out. You crack a fucking whole dozen eggs with nothing in it.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
She stayed
But
30 days too long.
Yeah. But
that was too long.
They don't even explain
Nothing.
why that shit was happening.
They did. He was controlling it. He was like making their food. Like they fucked up the VR. Spoiler.
Yeah. But like even still, like was it her
like a
brain
bug.
breaking?
No, it was the program. Wasn't the code was off.
Oh, that's so fucking frustrating.
Miles, based off of
Okay.
not seeing this, did that spoil it for you?
We're gonna
Okay.
spoil it.
Okay.
You don't
But
care.
I probably will still see
You
it.
don't care.
Well, and here's what I liked, and here's my problem at the same time, because you had all these great visuals. You had that. You had the one also in the trailer where she's cleaning
she's
the window,
clean
and then all of a sudden it like,
Yeah.
and she's like pressed up against it. Such a cool moment. But the movie plays the same beat over
and over and over.
To one point, she's wrapping something with saran wrap, and she starts wrapping her face. And this
love
is
that.
after she's done like the being pressed up against the window, and like she wakes up.
eggs.
And I saw the movie with our buddy Chris Reinecker, and he leans over and he goes, I can't really figure out the metaphor, but do you think she feels suffocated?
Reinecker. Anyway, like I
Because they just keep doing it.
yeah, it
I
was
don't know.
insane.
See, I disagree. I don't even think it was that she felt suffocated. I think
No,
it was
I
that
mean-
she was trying to test what would happen if she put her life in the VR on the edge of death.
But I don't even believe any of that makes sense. I don't believe that any of that matters. The fact of the matter is they kept doing it.
You know why I don't think you guys got it?
Because we're not
We're
women.
not women.
Because you're men.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I fully understood everything.
Okay.
It all made sense.
Yeah.
I got every beat.
Well, why don't you give
Yeah.
us the female perspective here, Kelsey? What did you get from this
Let's
film?
do it.
Okay, the outfits. Oh my God.
Let
Can
me
we
give you the
talk
female
about
perspective
Great.
by doubling down on the most stereotypical.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That was intentional.
Oh my
I
God,
am
the
a comedian.
dishes were-
Remember
no,
when
it's
he
just
ate
like-
her pussy on the dinner table?
Yeah, that was pretty hot.
Guys, there's so much box
When they
eating in this
kissed?
film. It's unbelievable.
When they first started making out at the boss's house, I was like, this is why we made this movie.
Yeah.
To see Harry Styles be actually intimate with someone. You don't get to see that shit in TMZ, on Twitter, in stand-up. Like, seeing him be that
Yeah.
in love with someone. And that's why I think people were shitting on his acting before they actually saw the movie, because God, the marketing played the worst 6 seconds of his acting, because I actually thought he was great.
He was good.
And
I
his
think
accent
he was fine.
gets explained.
He was
The
good.
the mixed accent
Sure.
gets explained, which might have been a post addition
Yeah,
once people
yeah.
kind of were shitting on
And
him.
genuinely, like, this is one of the things people most want to hear about Harry Styles, and we are all three to tell you unanimously, he is
He was
not
great.
bad
He's
in
not
this
bad.
movie.
He
I
is
wouldn't
not
say he's
bad.
amazing, but he is not
bad.
No.
bad.
There's a moment where he's like screaming at the top of his
Oh,
lungs.
that was
and
bad.
I was like,
I got wet.
You got wet?
I got wet. I wanted him to put me through a fucking meat grinder at that moment.
You're
I was
talking about
like,
when he's
put
in the
me-
car and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm
That
sorry.
part too. When he starts breaking down, I mean, I saw that twist coming a mile
Sure,
away.
of course.
Yeah.
But my God, I don't think this is bumped him down at all.
No.
He's going to book.
Let's talk more about Harry's voracious cunnilingus.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, please.
he goes
used
out
his
on
whole
Florence Pugh
head.
is 3 times in the first 40 minutes.
Really? I only remember once
Yeah,
on the table.
I think it was
there was
twi-
at
there
least
was twice.
When she got home
Yeah.
on the dinner table.
Yeah,
On the
that's
dinner
yeah,
table.
and
sick.
she's like playing with like the
Yeah.
Throwing the mashed
everything.
potatoes right off
and
the
then
table.
again at the boss's house,
boss's
which is
house.
like
He went down on
15 minutes
her?
later.
Yeah.
Did he go down on her?
Yeah,
He doesn't
that
stop
was, like,
going
the whole
down on
thing.
her.
I was looking at Florence Pugh, to be honest.
He's
She's
going
fucking
yum
hot
yum
as
yum
shit.
yum yum.
He uses his whole head, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Fucking
Did you see that?
neck
He was like
torque.
Isn't
rubbing
that
his
what you're supposed to
eyebrows.
do?
I can't, dude. With this fucking spine.
Yeah. You're not supposed to.
Did you rub your eyebrows in it?
Yeah.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I was recently faced with a problem. I'm not going to specify the problem. Maybe you can guess. And for so long, I was frankly stuck fixating on the problem, so much so that it was impossible to think about solutions. I was just overwhelmed by, this is a problem. I have big feelings about the problem. Oh God, now I'm stuck in my feelings. If you can automatically go into the problem-solving mode instead, you're going to feel a lot better and get a lot more done. A therapist is one resource you can use to help you train to become a better problem solver. I love going to therapy. It's a little check-in that I have once a week where I can process what's on my mind. Sometimes I'm processing things that I don't even know that are on my mind. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It is convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. That's my favorite part about it, is that I can do it wherever I am in the world. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/guiltypleasures today to get 10% off your first month. That's better, HELP.com/guiltypleasures.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
People are going to be so upset that we didn't address the drama of the
Of the whole thing.
the movie.
It was my favorite part of the movie.
Where's the movie about the movie is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I need to know, did Harry purposefully spit on Chris? Yes or no?
He did not spit on Chris.
I don't think he did.
I think he did.
I don't think
It
I
was so
thought he
obvious.
did, but I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
How
I don't
could you
think
say that?
Chris Pine was involved in any of the drama at all. I think he was just acting, and then he saw some stuff, and he was like, "I'm just gonna get the."
You
fuck
think
out of here.
him looking down in his lap, pausing, and then
Yeah.
looking
like-
back up was not him getting spit on?
From the other angle, it just didn't look like anything was happening.
I'll tell you something about the drama, and this gives me no pleasure to say, because again, I like Booksmart a lot,
Yeah,
but I don't think that Olivia Wilde is
Good
good in
feminist?
this.
Oh.
Sure.
is good in this.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
she's
said good
I think
feminist.
she's really bad.
yeah, she's bad.
She plays
I
the sassy neighbor
Yeah.
who's like the chain smoking
alcoholic
and like
mother.
clearly is meant to be this like scene stealer comedic relief.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, does she swing and miss.
I didn't
Because
get that.
she's not
I
like-
got that she was overcompensating. And she
I
was.
think that she
well,
was.
then mission accomplished.
My-
As an actor.
my guess is that she was spread too thin.
I
But
don't
I-
think I don't think she was overacting because again, the twist at the end made it make sense for me. She wanted to be there. She did not want Florence Pugh's character to realize what was happening.
I know, but don't you
like-
think she was like supposed to be funny?
But
No.
like, okay,
the
so
pregnant one was.
You don't think that we as an audience were supposed to laugh at her? She was making jokes
No.
that
Yeah.
were bad.
I gotta ask another
I don't think
question.
she's funny.
Do you think Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde are friends?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, so we don't think they're friends.
no.
Do you think this would have worked better if Shia LaBeouf was Harry Styles' role?
Okay.
Yes.
Honestly,
You do?
Yeah.
I don't.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I strongly do. And I don't think that Shia LaBeouf should be in this movie. He is an abuser. He's not a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that type of actor makes more sense for like the intensity
Yeah.
of what this movie wanted to
Absolutely.
be.
Absolutely.
I think-
Because if it was this, and we're jumping into spoiler territory, if it was this incel VR type of gamer
World.
type
Yeah.
of world,
Mhm.
that absolutely works because then you get to see, that Harry Styles is a handsome person, but you get to see Shia LaBeouf be grungy and kind of like
But
disgusting.
you
Like,
already know that Shia LaBeouf can play that. What I loved about this was that when Harry Styles was revealed to be the fucking incel keeping Florence Pugh kidnapped in this VR 50s world, I went, what the fuck, because everyone's coming to this movie to see Harry Styles as this gorgeous hot man, which we all know him to be, to see him with the fucking greasy wig, the blemishes on his face. I went, that is a guy who is not afraid of looking ugly. This is a movie that's not afraid to turn all the handsome boys on their heads. And I fucking believed it because I've never seen Harry Styles look ugly. I've seen Shia LaBeouf with a fucking rat tail in Honey Boy. If it was Shia LaBeouf, I wouldn't have believed it.
Well, if we're here, we have to talk about this.
I think that's
we
fucking
have
crazy.
to talk about the ending now that we're here.
Yeah, now that we're here, I thought like him with the wig and the shit on his face. I was like, all right, well, now you're making fun of me. You're making fun of me, and you're disrespecting
Garrick,
my
have
time.
you
You are not
seen
that.
yourself
You're
with your
not
shirt
that.
off?
No.
I just
I'm
need
not
to know
saying-
if you look in the mirror ever.
I'm not saying that at
Okay.
all. I am saying that they are putting this amount of like terrible shit on this gorgeous man that I know is a good looking person, that it really, really took me out of it. Now I'm like, okay,
You
fuck
didn't
off.
believe it.
I didn't believe it. I was like,
Copy.
all right, well, I guess he's a weird, but also, dog, if he were to shave, he would be a fucking model.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to worry about the rest of his life.
Yeah,
He
you
could
want to
just
not worry, darling? How about you just get a haircut, brah?
Get a
Use some
haircut.
shampoo.
Let's
Let's talk about though the
shampoo.
absolute pleasure of this moment is
Yeah.
the twist of this film.
Yeah.
Is not that they are in some I don't
Government
even know whatever you
experiment.
think.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was like actually the modern day and they were made to think it was 1950s.
Yeah.
No, this is a VR
Video
virtual
game.
reality
Which technically
game.
it was. They were in the modern world, made
Right,
to believe they were in the
you're right.
50s.
And
Yeah.
you get to see Harrison Styles.
Harrison.
I don't know if that's his name.
I don't think so.
I-
You get to
bet
see
it is.
Harry Styles play a greasy-haired incel
Yep.
who is on Discord watching Jordan Peterson videos.
Oh my God.
And he
AKA Chris Pine.
you get to see fucking Harry Styles play that role of like a pathetic fucking
Yeah.
Mom's basement.
loser
Yeah.
who then what his wife Florence is working
doctor.
too many hours
She's
in the
a fucking
hospital.
surgeon.
She's a surgeon.
She's a bad
I
bitch.
never get to go down on her.
2022.
And so he fucking kidnaps her,
Drugs
or
her.
pretends that fakes her death.
Yeah.
And then drugs her and puts her into VR every day where they can be happy and he can eat her out all the time.
It was such
What
a
the fuck?
It was so insane. So this is
Garrick, I'm
where
gonna hit you
I got
right in the face.
I got so fucking mad because I was like, what mom wrote this movie? This is a movie that my mother would.
Don't bring your mother into this. She's a good woman.
She is a good woman, but if she saw me playing like Grand Theft Auto, she'd be like, "Oh, you have your own little world in there. You have like a girlfriend. That's crazy that you have like a little girlfriend that you hang out with and you go out on dates." And then she'll go and she'll tell her friends and she'll be like, "Yeah, he's like living a whole little life in there." And all she would have to do is like say to herself, "Oh, I could write this. I could make this a movie." And it would be Don't Worry, Darling.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because this was about power. This was about power.
Yeah, the power in video games.
No, the power of men being in a position where he used to have a job. He lost his job. He became more incelish. He became a Jordan Peterson / Chris Pine follower.
Yeah.
He didn't like that his wife was working long hours, was having her own independence. And he went, I'm a flip down thing and reverse it. And
It's your flip win. Yeah.
and get back to a time where men were in power. And then that's when you start to realize, oh, Nick Kroll with Olivia Wilde, oh, Asif Ali with What's Her Nuts. And you find out that the kids, the children in the incel or in the 50s world aren't real outside of the VR. And you start to find out Olivia Wilde is staying there on purpose. She already knows, which begs the question.
Classic white feminist.
Was she kidnapping Nick Kroll then? Or did she find out and say, well, I have children here. I'm just going to stay here. And then what happens to the other two girls? One's pregnant and one just got there. Did she stay and have her baby or did they escape?
Also, let's fucking talk about all these confusing ass things. Like this, the plot, the story, it just fucking
It doesn't.
starts,
It
right?
really falls apart when you actually start to think about it.
I'm just gonna try and lay this out, right? Because in the beginning, there's like tension out of nowhere, and like all of a sudden, like there's just these like flashes edited in, which is just bad fucking editing.
Yeah, I didn't like the flashes.
Saw that the movie didn't work, and they're like, well, there's no tension here. What if we just start adding stuff? Whatever. She sees this red plane crash. It's this repeated motif, this symbolism means fucking nothing.
Absolutely
never
nothing.
comes back. There's no reveal of what that means, what it was, why it happened, whatever.
Why they're taking ballet.
Why they're taking ballet? I mean, it's part of like the hypnotism video that she
hypnosis,
watches.
yeah.
I mean,
But, like,
but
sure,
was that ballet or was that what is the fucking aqua
Vaudeville.
ballet called?
Oh, synchronized swimming?
Synchronized swinging.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Then
It's not synchronized.
at the end, there's
They're wearing
all this
hats.
crazy shit that happens, right? So Florence escapes and she does this thing. And then we haven't talked about Gemma Chan, who plays...
Why? Okay, first off, why the fuck is she allowed to just walk up to the thing? Because the last time she tried to do that, or the last time she actually
Florence
tried
Pugh?
to do that, Florence Pugh, she gets chased down by thousands of red men.
And then what are you talking to Gemma Chan did?
Gemma Chan, who I don't frankly know why they cast such a like standout actress
Jesus
in that
fucking
side role.
Christ.
She's Chris Pine's wife.
She is
And
so bad. She
She's
is
so
one
hot.
of the most stunning people
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
She's
in my
perfection.
Life.
She looks like the future.
Yeah. She looks like
Yes.
like a CGI character that they made.
Yeah, where it's just like, damn.
She's so pretty.
I guess in the future we actually figure it out.
Yeah, she's chemically made in a lab.
Yeah.
She doesn't really make sense to me, and it's cool.
It's pretty sick.
What her character reveals in the end is that because she's married to Chris Pine.
Yeah.
When Florence escapes, Gemma Chan takes that moment to turn around and kill Chris Pine.
She stabs Chris Pine in the stomach and goes, "Now it's my turn."
Here's my theory on this.
What the fuck does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It
She
doesn't-
spent the whole movie knocking down, making women stay in their place, right? My theory is she didn't want any of them to find out what was actually happening because she was working on her own plan because she knew Chris Pine had her kidnapped in this simulation, which is why she says, now this is my turn, stupid man.
Okay,
because
but
now
that-
she kills him.
But that doesn't track with everybody else's motivations.
And
right?
by the way, I
about?
want to
With
say that
Olivia,
I love that
'cause
if they showed
any of it, I would have been on board.
I
because
think it's insinuated.
we
Like I said, you
can't-
guys don't get it. Kiss your man.
We can't assume that all of the women were trapped because
of course they are.
Olivia Wilde wasn't. Olivia
No,
Wilde
no.
chose to be there.
No, I think she found out. She flew too close to the sun. She found out and she went, I
No.
have a choice. Yes, because she said, my children are here.
She said, "My children are
Darlings,
here."
we're starting to worry.
She said, "I chose to be here."
No, she didn't say I chose to be here. She said, my children are here and they're alive, which meant out there she couldn't probably have kids. And so
Yeah.
she's like, why would I go back
her
there?
kids died.
Yeah. So she stays there, not because she put herself there, but because she is happier there.
I think she put herself there.
You're wrong.
I think she put herself there.
You're wrong.
Something I would say watching this movie, so the whole movie's it's like an extended gaslighting metaphor,
Yeah.
right? And that's not fun.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, you tell me. I just like, it made me feel bad.
Well, yeah, you're a man.
I also, yeah, that's fair. Also, as soon as something is in the 50s, I'm like, all right, well, the men are bad.
Yeah.
Cool. The men are bad.
But didn't you believe
This is Stepford
Harry
Wives.
loved her?
I do think that he loved her in
Yeah.
his own stupid, fucked up way.
I remembered something I wanted to say, and I want your thoughts on this, Kelsey. So we're talking about Harry and the casting of Harry, and something that feels off to me. I guess it's really this. So Olivia Wilde had this quote where she's like, "No male pleasure in this movie, only men going down on women." Everyone, like, she had a quote about that. Did you see it?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was basically about why Harry goes down on her, and that like only women come in this movie, no male pleasure here. This whole fucking movie's
Is
about
about
male
male
pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's pretending to be about feminism.
It's
it
not.
fucking isn't.
It's all
about
the male gaze.
It's about a male fantasy
Yeah.
and this male fantasy world, and the quote unquote women liberation here is just
Them
not
escaping.
that. What is
Right.
it? What is it? What is this movie trying to say that like women want at all? Name me one thing that
They free themselves.
She
They save
she
themselves.
frees herself.
she saves himself.
Because the black woman slits her throat and dies.
But didn't she get out?
No.
Oh. I thought maybe that made her out.
No, if she dies, she dies.
She killed herself to get out of the simulation.
There's just nothing about like what Florence as a character actually wants beyond.
She wants her life back.
Not this. Yeah, but that doesn't really feel like a substantial feminist message.
Yeah.
It's very hollow.
Also, it's very weird that the flashes that she was getting wasn't like, they weren't like glitches in the world, if that makes sense. It wasn't like her remembering her old life.
Well, yeah, it was. There were moments. Remember when they're talking about him losing his job?
Yeah, there was like that one point where like you kind of see that
there's more to the story.
Yeah, but that was after she got out. Not like her being there. Like if she started seeing, like if we're going to Inception, right? The things that he was seeing were memories of him, and it was very weird. Like him stepping on glass or like him seeing his kids playing in the garden and all that stuff. Whereas here, it was like the weird shit that was happening was just like the world and her noticing that something was weird and noticing glitches. And it's just like, why wasn't any of the other people noticing glitches?
Yeah.
Is her mind smarter or something like that? But if it was like some sort of surgeon thing, like if she's a surgeon, that means if she saw like blood everywhere,
she would know.
That would know, not she would know, but like that would be fucking crazy. And that leans into the horror aspect of that we're like kind of playing on, where it's just like if she just started seeing blood on her hands for no reason, or if like she just had a scalpel or something,
or like heard the
like,
doctor pages.
Yeah.
Some of the images were like, oh, the world is not what it seems, right? Like the egg.
Yeah, like
some of them were suffocation metaphors, and then some of them were just these glimpses of this movie that she's apparently watching that hypnotizes her while she's going into VR, which it doesn't
make sense.
Nah.
I think where they did it wrong was that
it was no reason.
It was too much of the same beat of tension of unknown. Like I was watching this movie at one point going like, I just need something.
Yeah.
I need anything to tell me the direction that this is going in. Anything. I already get it. It's not what it seems. The girl knows something that we didn't. It's too late. She's dead. They took away her kid. Like, I get that. I just needed something. But in the end, it was like, you know, what's that Skull guy telling the He-Man thing where he's just like, here's everything I did. And here's exactly how I've done it. And here's it all right at the very end.
Right.
Where you're like, oh, then I just got this giant dump of reveal, which to me made it feel a little bit art house project.
It's very art house project.
Yeah.
It was very art house, and in the sense of like, you know, things that you study in film school. I didn't go to film school, but I feel like it felt like a revamping of that style of movie.
It felt like something that a sophomore in college would make in film school, where it's like, here's this
$1 billion.
The symbols, and we're gonna flash to the symbols, and it's a meaning, and an eyeball, and it's like, but then you're like, okay, but what does it mean? And then they're like, but it's symbols.
It means what you want it to mean.
I will say that my favorite part of this movie, and I have to read this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to pull up to.
The best part of this movie was the end when the credits rolled.
You bitch.
And in the audience, and all just feeling all the women that were there to see Harry Styles eat some box. The credits roll and they all just whisper, "What?" It was so fucking funny. And I was there masked up, because you gotta be masked up in the theater.
Yes.
And I was just like dying. And then this girl like looked over and was just like, is he laughing or is he crying?
My God.
And I was like, I'm laughing. And it was just so, because it was like a scattered what. It wasn't a communal what. Of like, what?
Yeah, but remember when he twirled at a tap dance for far too long?
That was the best scene. You have like Chris Pine, who only speaks in 5-minute monologues in this movie. he refuses to have a line unless he can have all the lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has just given Jack, which is our Harry Styles,
Yes.
a raise.
Yeah.
And
Kind of a threat too. It's like,
yeah.
you keep your bitch in line.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. Well, Florence is like, it's intercutting with like this tension moment, but it just keeps cutting to Harry on the stage, like doing this little tap routine.
The most insane.
Dance, monkey, dance.
He was spinning in circles, which did you notice how many circles were in the movie? Like between the camera movements and
driving me
scenes,
crazy.
like,
Just scenes
Well,
where
all of it, yeah, that
circles.
was like the hypnotism thing
Right,
as well.
with
Is that
circles.
the drop of blood and then the eye and then the
was a lot of
ballet
circles.
dance.
scenes where they're just talking with the camera swirling
I got
around them.
nauseous.
And you know what drove me crazy about this too?
Eh.
Is that you keep seeing all of these dioramas of the town. And it's a circle. And we know it's a circle. But then when she's on this trolley, it's a straight fucking line.
Yeah.
Every road is a straight line in this circle town.
Yeah.
Every single thing. The world building was just awful.
Yeah.
Because like you think, okay, it's this like make-believe town. I want to know what it looks like and what it feels like. And I see the diorama, but then all of a sudden she's like on this vacant desert road. I'm like, where the fuck is she?
Where are
I
we?
have no
On
understanding.
the outskirts of town.
Yeah,
What?
but like
No,
also,
where? That's
what the fuck was happening with the earthquakes? Like where was that coming from?
I'm glad you brought that up. In this world, all of the men work at the same place.
Yeah.
It's this underground plant that they say they're working with progressive materials.
Yeah.
And they give a little throwaway line of like, do you think they're making weapons down there, bombs? So they it's red herring trying to throw you off the scent. But then in the incel reveal, they reveal that the men are actually leaving
and leaving and
the
coming
VR
home
world.
and feeding them. And all
right,
that
because
stuff.
they have to take care of the host body of their wives. They have to drop waters in their eyelids and feed them.
And they have to go to real work to
To
pay,
pay for
here.
this.
Yeah.
And for some reason, throughout the world of the 50s town, there's these constant earthquake moments that give no rhyme or reason as to why it's earthquaking.
Well, what was the rhyme or reason?
No, I'm asking.
That's what I was asking. Kelsey, I swear to God. Anyway.
No, it's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. But I'm asking.
Because I also would like to ask.
also would like to know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to jump down your throat like that. But yeah, it was just like, what? All right, you have to, if you are going to be this visually
Kooky.
confusing and kooky and weird and quirky, you
Go to your
gotta
answers.
explain it. There's so many questions that just go unanswered by the end of this.
I think I had a
movie.
list that I
It's
was
like
reading
if
about.
Lost Season 1 introduced ghost visions, or Lost Season 2 introduced ghost visions of Walt, and then never explained
Never
it.
explain it.
Okay, these were the questions.
What they
The
did,
questions
yeah.
and answers.
What
What
they
were
did.
all the earthquakes?
Yeah.
What actually are the men's jobs?
Yeah.
Jack says that he has to leave Victory every day to make money, but we don't know if he's like actually working like at Burger King when he goes back to the real world, or is he working for Frank's company?
That one, I think that he was working at Burger King or wherever.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was just working. He was just trying to pay for the subscription.
How is Frank keeping any of this a secret in the real world?
Great question.
Do the trapped women have friends and family who are looking for them?
Yeah. Well, apparently they're dead.
I have an
All of
answer.
them?
I have an
I guess
answer
so.
to that.
Yeah. What is
When Bunny, aka Olivia Wilde character, said she's always known what victory is, does that mean she figured it out like Alice and decided to be fine with it? Or did she submit herself for entry like Jack?
Yeah.
And if so,
I think she submit herself.
yeah, is she trapping her husband in there, or did they agree to do eye lasers together? And why do the men die in real life if they die inside the program, but women don't?
You know what? Let's talk about the biggest burning question.
A?
How does a male programmer figure out how to simulate a female orgasm?
I don't think it's a simulation, baby. That look real. That look like real low to me.
Anyway, I just feel there's too many questions.
Yeah.
There's too many fucking questions.
But it
that
looked
just go.
cool.
It looked cool. It
It's
looked
pretty.
interesting.
Okay.
It looks.
The visuals were incredible.
It would
the
be
colors.
it'd be a great photo shoot.
It would be a great photo shoot.
Damn, drag me.
Yeah, it would. Like if this movie was an hour, I would have been like, oh, sick.
How long was it? It didn't feel long.
It felt like an hour and a half.
The axe felt off. Like when the reveal finally happened, I was like, oh, and this is the end.
Right.
Bitch, no, we still had a whole third act.
Yeah.
She
it's
had to
like-
Mad Max her way out of that bitch.
What do you think Harry does in the real world when Florence poops?
He wipes her ass.
Just has her on a bedpan.
That sucks.
Yeah. Also, like, dog, if you are that sad about being a fucking stay-at-home husband that you have to trap your wife in a VR,
Get a divorce.
get a divorce. Like,
That's
what's
what my
wrong
mother
with you?
always said about like movies where husbands kill their wives. She's like, fucking take my money, take all my jewels, take the fucking kids. Just don't kill me.
Yeah.
Just don't
Our
kill
real
me.
life
She's
is
a
miserable, Alice. I was starving, Alice. I can't eat. I can't even go down on you.
That's what he says.
Basically.
Oh,
That's
okay.
she's a surgeon.
She kills him.
They're making good money, and then we just go to their shitty apartment. I'm like, you're a surgeon. You're fine.
She's like a neurosurgeon.
Literally, yeah, she's a top surgeon or some shit like that, or she like worked however many hours. If you go over to the Marvel universe, Stephen Strange was a surgeon driving a fucking Lambo, having JLC watches. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe they were young because they were just married, right?
Yeah, maybe they were young.
What
But
What
even
was your reaction when we flashed to the OR and that you see that she was a doctor? Because immediately my brain went, oh my God, this is like Severance, where their brains are stuck in the 50s sometimes and then they come out and are in the real world. What was like your immediate thought, or did you get it right away?
I think when that happened, my first thought was,
Yeah, exactly. I was like, God, okay,
here we go.
Here we
All
go.
right, do the thing that none of us saw coming.
Yeah, well, none of
Damn.
us saw coming. I was like, they're either, it's the modern day. Somebody got kidnapped. Somebody got lobotomized. Somebody got stuck in a game. And when
I didn't
when
know
it was
how,
a game,
but I knew what. You know
I
what
knew-
I mean?
yeah.
It was like, all right, it's gonna be one of these things.
yeah, because there's no way. Like, the shitty thing about when you do these types of mysteries is that when you find out the thing, it better be satisfying as fuck.
Yeah.
As absolute fuck. And if the things that you're leading up to are so weird and so like interesting in a weird way, if the thing that you are leading to is not interesting or even more interesting than the thing that you were just showing us, than the visuals you were just showing us.
It was too good.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm saying
Okay.
that it didn't, the way that it didn't land the plane, it crashed the plane like that red one behind the fucking
They
mountain.
used it as the poster image.
That's so weird.
And
Yeah.
they never
Again, this
explained
plane crashes. It spurs Olivia to go on this journey. Never comes back, never explained, never connected to anything. I don't understand it. If
And
any
how
of you
do
out there
you-
understand what the red plane is supposed to symbolize,
Yeah,
fucking
I would
tell
love
me.
to know.
And
I would love to know.
I got confused because the guys are driving through a tunnel with their cars.
Yes.
But then
she
escapes
exits
through
on
mountain.
a fucking titty on the top of a mountain.
It's a titty lamp.
It is a titty
It's
lamp.
a titty lamp with mirrors like a merry-go-round.
Yeah. It was
I
just
was
like,
confused.
yeah.
Still, also, by the way, don't know what she's seeing there.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the ending.
Okay.
I want to talk about what the ending could have been. It's time for fun facts with Zach.
Fun facts with Zach's back.
Look, I have other fun facts, but you know the fun facts. The filming of this movie was a shit
insane.
show.
Yeah.
So instead, I want to talk about the story. I want to talk about the script because this script was hot. It was on the 2019 Blacklist, which if you don't
was
know
it?
is the list of the top unproduced scripts
Yeah.
of the year that people in the industry go, I love this. It was actually written by Carrie and Shane Van Dyke, who are the grandsons of Mr. Dick Van Dyke.
Sick.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Nepotism at its finest.
So Olivia Wilde, she caught attention of this script. She brought on her book smart screenwriter, Katie Silberman. They did a rewrite, but I don't think that was the right call.
No, it was not.
I mean,
and so-
Booksmart was great. So they have one for one going
Yeah,
for them.
Booksmart was funny.
Yeah.
It was like Booksmart as a script itself is super bad.
Yeah.
Like not as a script itself, as a story itself is super bad. But if you just
They got cocky.
if you just throw female character, and I'm being a little fucked up here, but like if you just throw female characters into Superbad, you really do have a lot of room to just
make
do
jokes.
those
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
Because you have the framework, and it's just like, all right,
And
I
it's
can
never
just
been
play
done.
in this sandbox.
Yeah.
So this is an insider article. I'm gonna try and speed through some points here. So a couple things. The Victory Project and Chris Pine's character not in the original script, which
Right.
makes me go, huh. Also, it was said that their rewrites gave the movie a stronger female perspective. Okay, cool. We're down with that.
Sure.
But when we talk about the ending, complete overhaul. So in the original Van Dyke script, she returns back to reality not through shock treatment, which is what happens in this film, but she comes across an exit portal back to the real world, which is disguised as a house for sale. So there's not that titty on a mountain. She goes through like a abandoned house. She's then hooked up to a machine and IV. She gets out of bed. She crawls to escape wherever she is. She learns that she's in the future, the year 2050 to be exact. Not only that, she finds a certificate of divorce with her name on it. Then she finds out that there's a company called Alt-Life where men can live in a cyberspace world that resembles the 1950s suburban America. It's a world where, quote, a world controlled by women no longer exists. So this is like, the original was a direct commentary on like men, that incel men who were like, fuck this, the women are too powerful. And all the man has to do is fake his wife's death, strap her to the machine, and then she can share that experience with him. So she finds all these headlines where Harry's character faked her death and people were looking for her, then they gave up on the search. There's this whole ass story that we don't get to see. Then Alice, Florence Pugh, hears Harry coming home. She goes back into the machine. She pretends that this never happened. Then she goes back into the world. And Alice attempts to escape, but Jack figures out what's going on. They take her to the hospital. She undergoes shock therapy. Things are back to normal. This is, first of all, already so different.
Way better.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
She goes back where things are back to normal. Alice is a submissive housewife, but she's faking it. One night, while she's seducing Jack, she knocks him out with a shovel. Boom.
Wow.
He wakes up tied to a bed.
Whoa.
She pours scalding hot coffee on his body.
Nice.
She's interrogating him, making him try to admit things. He's like, Alice, you're crazy. This is wrong. We love each other. Which, by the way, I don't think the movie did a good enough job of being like, are you crazy or is this real? We just all believed we all
crazy.
knew from the beginning that she was realizing that the world was fake. So the original script played a little more with that, like,
is she crazy or not?
Exactly.
Because it would have been really cool if it wasn't just her by herself.
Right.
If you're showing the relationship and like them hanging out and all of that stuff, and you just lean on that, that would have been way better. But
so Jack he's getting tortured and he's insisting, no, this is real. This is our life, Alice. I love you. And then
opportunity.
Then she threatens and attempts to ram a broomstick handle up his ass.
Yeah, sodomy is between God and me to S&M. Waiter, V-Bohem. Where are my redheads up there? Miles?
And finally, Harry admits that this is a simulation and that he did it because he wanted them to be happy again because her work became more important, which led to the divorce. Jack tells Alice where the exit portal is. Meanwhile, Jack finds a knife and cuts himself free from the bed while Alice is running. Alice is in her home in 2050. He gets back. Jack appears. They have a big fight, which ends with him getting stabbed with the kitchen knife. Gemma Chan. Back in the 1950s, Bunny finds Jack dead and Alice unconscious next to him. Alice wakes back up in the hospital in the 1950s. She's told, you went crazy. You killed your husband. You dreamed up a future where women were empowered. And then, so now we're like, oh shit, she really was crazy. This was fake. But then in the final scene, Alice sits in the courtyard of the psychiatric ward. Bunny comes to visit. Previously, Alice had tried to convince Bunny that this was a simulation and she couldn't convince her. Bunny shows up with flowers and before she leaves, she leans in and whispers, there's an exit portal right behind you. She leaves Alice, and in a sign of renewed life, Alice makes her way to the door.
Yeah, like that's way better. That like actually gave me chills.
That's cool, but also it would have left me still wondering, was she imagining that?
Well, what I like about it, clearly, I mean, you brought up Inception. Yeah. The original script played with this, like, what's real, what isn't, and like, I don't know. I think that's better.
A way more fun way to leave things up in the air. Like, even this is just like she gets out and it's like, all right, cool.
But we don't know. We just hear her take a breath. We don't.
Right, it cuts to black. You hear her breath, and we
assume she lives.
We assume she lives.
Which I was satisfied with that.
I wasn't satisfied at all.
I wanted to know more, but that just makes me go, ooh, it left me wanting more.
Yeah.
But I was satisfied. I think if I would have gone that route, the other way, the real ending, the script's real ending, I would have been, it's too Inception-y for me. Like it's too, what's that other one? The one that's like Inception? Come on, guys. You all saw it.
Interstellar?
Yes. Nope. That one was too fucking weird for me, man.
I love that
He spent way too much time in that weird
A
library.
movie that's like Inception. Nothing's like Inception.
It just came out like 2 years
Tenet.
ago. Thank you.
Oh, Tenet.
It gave too much unknown. I would have been like, yeah, no, I want a solid answer.
I think if you watch Tenet again, having seen it, you'd like it.
All right, fine.
I think that's a movie you have to
take
watch
more
twice.
Adderall to
You
watch
literally
that.
have to watch it twice.
Well, now the mood's time for us to decide. Is this a pleasure, guilty pleasure, or just plain guilty? Should you see this film?
Yes, I'll go first. I think if you like colors, if you think Florence Pugh is hot as fucking shit, and you think she is a gem actress of our time, if you want to feel like, man, I feel validated by seeing men be fucking gross in society reflected into some weird visual simulation world, and it's pretty, then you should see Don't Worry, Darling, and just see it anyway, because people be talking about it. And I want to see people supporting women filmmakers. I want to see people supporting, all that. So I'm going to say pleasure.
No.
Wow.
I liked it.
God. Okay.
Yes, it had its problems, but was I watching the movie going, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner? Did I watch the movie thinking, oh my God, I'm going to tell every friend about this? No, but I wasn't thinking about all the shit I had to do. So I liked it. It was a good movie. It had my attention.
Okay, so I'll go. I think it's a guilty pleasure because I think that the movie doesn't work.
Period.
I don't think the movie works. I don't think it really makes a ton of sense. It is fun to look at and observe, but you'll watch it and be like, I don't know why I'm watching this. But in the back of your mind, you'll be asking yourself the question, when did Olivia Wilde start fucking Harry Styles? And that in itself
is a fun mystery.
It's a fun mystery to have. And I loved watching the movie and seeing all right, their body language is a little off here. So I think it happened.
But they shoot out of order. Of all people should know, you had to fuck in your show.
Yeah. I mean, even still, I'm still watching him I think in this scene, they didn't fuck with each other. Right. I think in this scene, they actually did. It's
a fun game.
Think so. It's
Look
a fun
how much
game
you got out of it.
It's a fun game to have. Don't watch it twice. Wait until it comes out on video on demand.
He supports it.
But support, people. I think that Olivia Wilde's a talented director.
Yeah.
I really do think that it's
feminist.
visually stunning and all that stuff. So I just think that they should have done the original script.
Yeah.
I'm glad also that you brought up Florence Pugh, who we did not talk about
because she's
at
perfect.
all. Because she's wonderful.
She's wonderful.
She's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And
nailed
she's
it.
so much better than this movie.
The fact that the way that she addressed the drama was by not addressing the
Which
person
is
at fault. It's just so fucking.
I think this movie's guilty. I think it's bad.
Yeah.
I think that not only is the script a mess, I think that the craft is bad. I think that it is very poorly edited, and I think it's there are visuals that are interesting, but not in the service of a story that is worth telling.
And that's real. That's
and we
real.
also know Zach's going through some stuff, so he's kind of just in a dark headspace right now.
Sure. I mean, I genuinely, wholeheartedly recommend that you do not see this movie. I really think it's bad.
Even to see Harry Styles go down on her.
that
you
part was
bitch.
sick.
It's just really poorly edited. It has such a poor grasp on tension and the build of tension that it then you can tell that they just started fucking changing it in post and they were like, let's figure it out. You know what it is to me? It feels unfinished. Like the movie.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Olivia Wilde left to fuck Harry Styles.
Yeah. Which it feels like they made the movie and they're like, this doesn't work. Take it apart. Fuck, we're out of time. Just tape it together again. It doesn't, it's lacking a cohesive vision. And I think that what we've seen with movies is once something gets to a point where it doesn't work, and then now the studio's trying, other people are coming in trying to fix it, it's too late.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Olivia's vision was, if this is it, but whatever her vision was, I'm guessing someone said, this isn't working, and whatever has been delivered to us sure as shit don't work.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to indict...
Tomato.
I'm not going to indict Olivia Wilde as a director because I think Booksmart rules, like fucking rules.
Yeah.
And this has some really interesting visuals in it, but yeah, please don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go back on what I said.
You don't get another round.
I don't get another round. You're right.
Now that's women in power.
Well, let's hit, before we get out of here,
New
let's hit you
segment.
guys with some pleasures from the world. This is my pleasures.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my pleasure is I just watched the series on GameStop on Netflix,
yeah.
the doc series, and I thought it was really interestingly done. It explained how the fuck the stock market works, and in this case does not work in layman's terms, like an ELI 5 way, that I really liked the graphics and I really dug the self-awareness and the humor. It was a comedy. And the characters in it are wild. Like if you hate Bitcoin and if you hate people that capitalism, you're going to love this film.
Good.
Series.
I am really fucking with Andor on Disney Plus. That is one of the Star Wars shows. It is about Cassian Andor, and it is basically a show about immigration and how immigrants are treated by the police.
Wow.
Which is
Where do you watch
pretty
it?
fucked, huh?
Where do you watch it?
Disney Plus. No, it's all practical. A lot of like the Star Wars shows, they go into a lot of CGI and all that
It's
stuff.
not all practical.
It's not all, I'm sorry. As much as they possibly could. And I appreciate that as much as, it's as much as CGI fare is ruining a lot of things and the storytelling. I just think that it just looks so visually stunning with all of these practical effects, and it brings you back to the original Star Wars times.
And I have not consumed any media in the month of September because I've been busy. No reason.
We stand with you, Zach.
Yeah,
we
appreciate
love you.
Well, that's our show. This is October, which means it's spooky month.
Fuck me.
We had to dip into, spooky month to do Don't Worry, Darling. But from here, which is scary in its own right.
Yeah, it is.
I hate
It's a scary movie. We can say it's a scary movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a thriller.
But we're going to be
creepy.
hitting you with some Halloween classics, modern and otherwise. Join us next week for The Hunt. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
Hell
yes.
Yeah, this is a good episode.
The best movie that you've never heard of. We will see you then. Until next time. I'm at Corn Day and all things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh and all the things.
I'm Garrick Bernard and all the things.
I really love that the movie
Opportunity.
a movie.
Yeah.